got to have guts to stand for your rights. You got to keep a grip enough to hold on tight. You got to do the fighting with all of your might. You got to keep the target straight ahead on your side.
Hey, welcome to Half the Battle. Today we'll be taking a look at a G.I. Joe ground-to-air specialist, Backblast. Yeah, Backblast. Let's start with the name, shall we? This must have been when Christmas came early for everybody with the juvenile, immature mind of a 10-year-old. Which fits, considering G.I. Joe is targeted at 10-year-olds. The name Backblast can invoke no end of childish jokes, going from farts to diarrhea to sexual preference. But I'm far too mature and highbrow for that. Okay, no I'm not, but let's pretend I am. Released in 1989, this figure has all original body parts. The thing that strikes me straight away here is the attention to detail. Like the sculpted mesh on his helmet, but especially the calculations written on the pad that's on his left leg. It is a really nice little touch that adds a lot, and it's relevant to his specialty, making quick calculations to make sure his missiles hit the target. Also, his shirt makes it quite clear what branch of the military he's from and what football team he supports in the inter-branch game. His accessories are a mixed bunch. Some are cool, some are problematic, and some are just weird. He comes with a 2-part missile launcher. Well, 5 parts actually, if you want to count the missiles. The first part, the missile tubes, are fairly straightforward. You put the missiles in, and there you go. Unfortunately, they fit very loosely, so they will fall out all the goddamn time if you so much as exhale near them. The second part is this contraption, which holds the tube quite snugly. Too snugly, in fact, so there's a real danger of pieces breaking off if you apply even a little bit too much pressure, as you can see here. The good news is, though, that even with one piece broken off, the tubes still stay in place. In theory, the peg on the holder should fit onto the figure's shoulder as he holds it. I said in theory because, well, the way a G.I. Joe figure is articulated, especially the lack of wrist articulation, makes this an exercise in frustration to pull off. This is as close as I could get without risking damage to the figure's thumbs. I will say I'm impressed that this toy manages to keep standing without the need of a figure stand, even with all the crap attached to him. If you want him to look like he's actually aiming at the sky, though, you know, that place where enemy aircraft actually tend to attack from, you're gonna need a figure stand. He also comes with a knife that I can't bloody find, so I can't show it to you, but it's supposed to fit into a special slot on his left arm. It looks kinda goofy, to be honest. The last accessory I want to talk about is this. He comes with a bandolier, filled to the brim with bullets. And there's just one teensy-tiny problem with that. He doesn't come with a freaking gun. He has no way to shoot the ammunition that he's carrying. Well, to be fair, I suppose it can make sense. There are, of course, soldiers whose sole job it is to carry ammo for others, especially for machine gunners. And let's face it, once Backblast has fired his 3 missiles, what's he supposed to do for the rest of the fight? Sit there and twiddle his thumbs? They could have just given him a gun, but instead they gave him an ammo belt and made his role on the battlefield a lot more intricate. Or I could just be making up a fan theory, while Hasbro was stupid enough to give a guy ammunition, but no guns. Yeah, sorta like the real-world military bureaucracy. Any military. There was only one other toy made of Backblast in the original line. This guy. At first glance, it appears to be a simple repaint, but there is a difference. This guy has sleeves! They used the arms from another figure, topside in case you're wondering, to give him something better than a tank top. Paradoxically enough, this figure has both less and more detail than the original. Instead of the simple Go Army text on his chest, he now has a detailed army logo. However, the math on his notebook on the leg is gone, and that's a real pity. He came with generic black guns and a black missile launcher, so I'm not gonna go into those accessories. So let's head straight for the character. I can be pretty brief. See, the file card just mentions that, well, he grew up next to one of the busiest airports in the world. That kind of had an effect on him with the constant noise and sleep deprivation, since the first thing that he asks when he goes to the military recruiter is, where can he go to shoot down airplanes? You know, I can sympathize. I feel the same way about motorcycles. His second file card only adds that he's a very good runner, able to compete in marathons and such. I can be even more brief about his appearances in other forms. You see, he shows up only twice in the comics. One time to blow a condor out of the sky, the plane, not the bird, and another time to shoot down a rattler. Yeah, he basically just did his job and that was all. In the cartoon, as far as I can tell, he only had one brief cameo in the Deke opening miniseries Operation Dragonfire. Blink and you'll miss him, and that's all you get. In conclusion, both figures are pretty nice, with some very nice detailing shown. The character didn't really stand out for me though, mostly due to his lack of appearances in other media. Honestly though, I would have preferred a mix of the two figures. Give the first version the sleeves and the detailed chest logo, and it would be a lot better. Well, that's all for now. See you next week, everybody.
You got to have guts, stand for your rights. You got to keep a grip enough to hold on tight. You got to do the fighting with all of your might. You got to keep the target straight ahead in your sight.